Welcome to round 14 of the AfRoLeague Season 2 here in Singapore. Now I'm starting near the back after I gave myself a no quality penalty for some stupid mistakes over in Monza. RLSTRM also had this penalty, but DMAD 96, and I also think the guy behind me in the, I think it was Mercedes, I think that might have been Jokers, have had penalties in qualifying. That's where they start behind me. But here we are, the lights are out and away we go in Singapore, getting a pretty good initial start. RLSTRM slow but then lagging forward. DMAD down the inside, Joker's behind. 13 people in this race and there's cars everywhere. The Toro Rosso spun by himself on the inside. I think that was Ice Cold Davey. We're down in 11th position running wheel to wheel with Jokers. DMAD has placed him behind us, so now we're going to be running down the back straightaway and hopefully no contact here. There's a bit of rubbing in front but nothing too major, and now you can see Ice Cold Davey has dropped back quite significantly behind us, and now he's sort of dropped off the main queue. Now putting it into the front brake bars, braking into the hardest braking points. There's going to be mistakes throughout this race for sure. Now I'm starting on the prime tyres, wanting to do something a little bit different because I've got nothing to lose here in Singapore after starting right near the back. Jokers has gone in front of us, then Danny Pierce has lagged inside us. I don't know where he was on the racetrack, but I'm really sorry to Danny Pierce there. I have nothing I could do. He just suddenly appeared inside my car, and then all hell broke loose. And once again, all hell broke loose. It looks like Sirlane has made contact with Arte, and there's cars everywhere. There's another car there, a Marussia, I think that's Stop Matt, braking and accidentally getting that a little bit wrong. Now DMAD, somehow, I didn't realise through all of that, has gone in front of me. So DMAD, after starting right at the back, is up into 6th position. So a good drive from him so far, but some, questionable driving in qualifying apparently, according to a lot of people. So we're going to have to look into that after this race video goes up. But now we're up into 6th. We got past DMAD there, and now in front of Ice Cold Davey. So maybe it wasn't Ice Cold Davey that spun on the first lap. It was the other Toro Rosso, and I can't remember off the top of my head who drives the other Toro Rosso. But going way too deep into the UBS banner and losing our front wing. So our strategy goes out the window. Danny Pierce behind us also has no front wing, and we're going to try and just get back to the pits as fast as possible. Sirlane has recovered, and now he's getting back into the groove. And now me and Danny Pierce will both be going into the pit. Unluckily for Niels, he didn't join in time for the race. He was just literally a couple of seconds too late, so he couldn't race, sadly for him. He said that he was out on some sort of trip. And here we are into the pit lane, down in 11th. At this point in the race, I was like, oh my race is over and we haven't even started it. I was so disappointed at this stage because now that puts me on the option red tyres that normally only last a couple of laps around here in Singapore. Puts me on those tyres for the rest of the race, and that is going to be plain hell if I can't really, just manage these tyres. But I think I should be alright if I really do manage, but I probably won't. And anyway, lap 4, here we are. Now we're obviously still on these option red tyres, and we're catching up to the back of Danny Pierce. I think somebody pitted. No, I don't think now. Stop Matt maybe was the person that. No, Stop Matt's the driver of the Marussia. I'm getting mixed up in my head whilst doing this commentary. I can't actually remember. It might have been James F1 ETC that spun on the first lap, actually. I think that was completely just a mistake around the start of Singapore. It's very easy to make mistakes into turn 1 as there's literally no grip there. Now, Danny Pierce, he has jumped us through all the pit stops. He's actually driving really fast and he's got in front of us. And now we're just going to try and close him down. Going onto the brakes into turn 1. There's not really any opportunity to go past there, but not even noticing it. We've went from 12th to 9th after many people have pitted. So I've actually had a pretty good couple of laps here, considering I drove quarter of the lap without a front wing, and now I'm driving around with a front wing, got DRS and curse the max. But I don't think we can get past Danny Pierce, just way too far back. But we're up into the points, luckily, and let's just hope we can get some points at the end of the day. And yeah, it's going to be hard work to get to the end of this race on these tyres. They will degrade very fast, and we'll just see what happens here. And it's people in the chat talking. It looks like there's some sort of accident ahead. There's a yellow flag out in the last sector, and my tyres are absolutely dead. I'm going to come in the pits. This is going to either win me this race, or no, you're not win me the race. Maybe win me a couple of extra points, let's say, or completely ruin it for me. So coming into the pit lane, dropping to 10th position, so that's still 1 point available. But Arte will be coming past us soon, or will he? He's jumped into the pit lane as well, running through a Force India mechanic was going to the pits, putting on some new fresh red tyres, and that's obviously the option. The super softs have gone on my car on lap 9 of 15. I'm down in 10th position. Ice Cold Davey, the car in front. Arte is the car behind. Now, just going to be an absolutely crazy race to the end here. See if we can get to the end, and just hope that we can keep this position from Arte, because we all know what a fast driver he is. He's up in the top 5 in the championship, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him do a great result here if he get past us. But there's D-Mad. He's destroyed his vehicle. I don't know really what's happened here. Lots of people after the race saying he did it on purpose. But if D-Mad is watching, I'd really appreciate just an honest response of why he actually did that.
Thank you, D-Mad.
Now you can hear Stop Matt in the chat. Getting excited about the safety car, obviously, because the first lap couple of hindrance for him meant he was down the field. Passing the safety cars, the safety car came out in a bit of a random place. Now, I realised here at this point of the lap, Arte's pitted, hasn't he? And I thought, that is such a clever move there. Arte's going to put on some fresh tyres and going to get an advantage after the safety car restart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy him here, because that is one of the cleverest bits of driving I've ever seen in this Formula 1 game, is actually doing that. And I didn't realise I've got the gap. I probably should just be able to get out in front of Arte if I can do it again. But I was running around on a slow fuel mixture all that time. But that was some great driving from Arte. I'm going to copy him, because I don't know what on earth I can do here, but if I can just get a point, that would be awesome. But really at this point I was just covering myself, because I knew my tyres were about 2 or 3 more laps older than his would have been, so I really just wanted the fresh tyres. I think Ice Cold Davey actually did exactly the same thing, because I think he had a massive gap to me, so he did exactly the same thing. And you'll see Arte any second now come down the home straight. There he is, and he's going to be down in 11th position. But here we are, safety car in this lap. I haven't even caught the back of the field. Me and Arte are pushing as hard as possible to catch up to the back of this crew of cars, and we've done it with literally a couple of corners to go before the safety car restart. Me and Arte have joined the back of the crew. Back of the crew, that's not the right word. Back of the back of the line of cars. We got Ice Cold in front of us. I think we got Sirlane in front of him. And this is going to be one crazy race. It's going to be 3 laps, a sprint finish of who can drive the best in 3 laps. Putting it into the standard fuel mixture. Green flag, the racing has resumed, and away we go. There's a 1 car in the pit lane. I think those cars are a lap down, actually. I don't know who that was. But great move down the inside. Arte, really late braking manoeuvre. My tyres were too cold. I wasn't concentrating, and a great move from Arte promotes him up into the point. And after such a strategic gamble from me, it's put me down in 11th, and I'm losing touch with this group of cars. And I thought at this point, I am doomed here. There is no way I'm getting points. Arte's pulling out an advantage, and now everybody in front of me is just driving away. Stop Matt is behind me. I don't know whether he's a lap down. He might have been. But Arte in front, catching up to Ice Cold a little bit. I've had a little bit of a better start to this second sector here. And Arte is, you know, closing the gap on these 2 cars in front of him. Look at the cars. There's cars everywhere in front. There might have been a little bit of contact. Yes, there is. Jokers has had some sort of contact. And it's put me up into the 10th position. It's kind of crazy. There's a car off into the wall. I think that is RLSTRM. 3rd place in the championship. Has ended up in the wall. He's retired from the race. Now Jokers up into 10th position. And they're braking down to this next part of the track. This is where it all gets a little bit twisty. And there are cars in front of us. There's Tiamat Marduk has now destroyed his vehicle. This is all the championship rivals are heading into the wall. Both of them, I think, were just mistakes. No other vehicles were included, I don't think, in these accidents. And Ice Cold Davey has lost his front wing. And I'm going to try and get around the outside of him here. He's squeezing me a little bit here, putting his car, he's taking the car off the track. So good driving there from Ice Cold to sort of give me enough gap there. But that has really cost me time there. And that might have been an extra position at the end of this race, because I'm now going to push with 2 laps to go. 3.6 seconds lost in 1 lap to Arte. He is pushing like crazy to get a good position here. Completely misjudging turn 1, and that is the first time I misjudged a corner in this whole race pretty much. And that's the first time I got a corner cut, which is kind of crazy. In a 14-15 lap race around Singapore, you expect to get many corner cut penalties, or at least warnings. Now Arte in front of us. Now Sir Lane has destroyed his vehicle. It's all going off in front of me. I nearly do exactly the same thing, running way too deep into that corner. Luckily just missing the wall. Luckily I put on these new tyres, because if I didn't, There is no way I'd have got to the end of this race. I'd have been in the wall probably about lap 7 or 8. Who knows what would have been happening, but now there's the squabble for 5th position in front of me between Arte, and I think that might be, who's that? I don't know who it would be. Maybe with Bloom, Minecraft for the win forever. He might be in front there, but there's a great battle up there for the leader of the race. Dan is up there. There's also Arte. There's loads of people up there going for the win. And obviously, if anyone but Dan wins, I think that'll be our first win in the AfRoLeague for them. So that'll be a great opportunity. But really, big points up for anybody that finishes here. Sadly, many people dropped out. I think about 8 people finished in the end. But great to see everybody stay to the end of the race and actually just watch the rest of the racing action. And losing a bit of my front wing back there. Bit disappointing, but that sort of stuff happens around here in Singapore. Now Bloom has dropped down into 5th position, and we are going to be chasing as hard as possible. I think James F1 ETC is right up there. You can see that Dan is leading, going on to the final lap of the race. He's got a good substantial lead. Obviously Ben and AlexZAfRo would have been right up there going for this win if they hadn't made the mistake and crashed into the wall. But this is all crazy for the championship battle, because we only have a couple of races left after this, and there are some big championship battles between a lot of people in the Constructors and Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors, it is Sauber versus McLaren for 1st position, and worryingly, I'm in one of the Saubers, so Dan's probably a bit worried about losing the Constructors. But Dan is also up there in the Drivers. Ben is up there in the Drivers, and also is RLS up in the Drivers. And it's just crazy, crazy stuff for the people up in the Drivers' Championship to have a couple of errors like this. One little error here in Singapore can cost you a massive amount of time, and there's lots of great racing still to come in this season. And yeah, some really good racing so far this year. Unfortunately, we have had quite a lot of accidents as well, but we'll definitely try and get that ironed out as best as possible. We can see Ice Cold Davey 40 seconds behind me now, and I haven't actually lost that much time to Bloom. If anything, I have caught time, but look at that. James F1 ETC has destroyed his vehicle on the final lap of the race with a final couple of corners to go. Puts me up into 5th position. Now braking, making sure I don't lose my front wing, just like one of the first laps of the race. Now Dan crosses the line to win the Singapore Grand Prix and wins this race amazingly. People coming across the line now. Bloom just comes across the line, and I come across the line and grab 5th, or is it? No, it's 4th position after Bloom gets a penalty, which we're still looking into. But there is the results, guys. Danny Pierce, Arte, me, Bloom, James F1 ETC, Ice Cold Davey, Stop Matt Sirlane, and Ben is the top 10. So thanks for watching, guys. It's been Alex, and I'm out here. Goodbye.